Hi, it's Gwyneth here on a fabulous Feel Good Friday, doing my best to help you feel fabulous about being you. And in this video, I want to talk about how you can feel confident standing out, be that for a job interview, be that when you are marketing to others, potentially in a sales conversation. Because in times of uncertainty, particularly if there is conflict in the world where many people feel deeply unhappy at watching others suffer, there is this tendency to then go into oneself and say, well, they've got dreadful things happening, and therefore I'm just going to keep my head down. It's not right for me to want to get ahead, to get that promotion, to get that business deal. And that's really bad, because you keeping yourself small serves absolutely nobody. So, like I said, in this video, I want to talk about how you can stand out, because you don't want to be looking at yourself in a year's time having been passed over for a promotion, or like I said, because you didn't want to stand out, you didn't get that business deal. Potentially, if you're a coach or a consultant, I feel passionately about what I do. And I know that if I didn't do these videos, didn't reach out on a weekly basis, at some point my audience decreases down to nothing. I'm not helping anybody anymore. So standing out, when I talk about standing out, what I mean is really connecting emotionally with those people that you want to serve. Now, something that I also want to point out is when we're talking about connecting emotionally, there are two ways that you can do that. The first way is to say, I've been where you are. I totally get it. I've been on this journey myself. I understand what you're going through. And the second way of connecting emotionally with people is to show a little bit of vulnerability. This is something I do on a frequent basis. I don't want you to think of vulnerability as something, it's not about being weak. It's not about saying, I've made mistakes and I got it wrong, but now I'm getting it right. Okay, maybe a little bit. It's more about being honest about how you feel. So, for example, vulnerability, when I say I am passionate about working with female leaders, that's my specialization in the not-for-profit sector. I had somebody this week come to me and say, do you work with men as well? Because I only ever see you talking about women. Well, I said, yes, I do work. I've worked with a few men as well. But men, sorry guys, are not good in general about being vulnerable. They're not great at saying, I really care. I really want to make a difference. So like I said, these are the two types of emotional connection that you should be looking for when you want to stand out. First of all, I've been on the journey that you're on. I totally get it. Or vulnerability. I care deeply about this, and I'm not scared to tell you that I care very deeply about this. The flip side of all that, of course, is that by not standing out, you might be one of those people who is depending entirely on professional qualifications, background, experience. Again, consultants in particular, I see going down this road of, it's not about me, it's about my client. Of course, it's about your client. Therefore, I just have to prove to them that I'm capable, that I have the qualifications, that I went to university, that I've got references from other people. Yeah, absolutely fine. But again, no emotional connection. You're not going to stand out. You just become one of potentially thousands of others. The same thing when it comes to job interview. And again, I had a conversation with somebody who has had the foresight to actually get in touch even before they've applied to a position. They want to get confident talking about themselves. And there they said, but when you answer that question is, why should I work with you? Why should I hire you? So often it comes back because my work experience and my background meet the criteria of the position. Yes, you and everybody else who's applied. Stand out emotionally. Stand out either by saying, I totally get it. I've been on this journey before. I know how important it is to get these results. I understand the challenges of getting the results that we want. Or vulnerable. I want to make a difference. This business, this opportunity, this project is something that is going to help me leave a legacy, make an impact. The things that I want to do to make the world a better, a safer place. So moving on briefly from those two types of connection that you need to be able to describe regardless of who you are talking to or how you are delivering your message, be that on social media, in email, or speaking to an interview panel. A very good way for you to bring some structure into what you're talking about is to include a story. Now, there are loads of different formats. Some people talk about the hero's journey. Some people talk about epiphany. The big filmmakers, they have a very similar story structure format that they follow for every single film. I've just been looking at my book again today. Can't believe that 4 years have passed since I wrote this, published in 2018. Stepping into You, the blueprint to nailing your personal brand and marking yourself magnificently. And if you're one of the people who purchased my book over the years, you will know that I also have a chapter on storytelling makes a sale. Chapter 8. It's all about how our brains love a good story. It's much easier for us as human beings to understand, listen to a story than to just be bombarded with statements and facts. Basically, what it comes down to is first C, I have 5 C's, creating the context, helping people understand what your story is about. The second C, the crisis. You have to be able to demonstrate this journey that you've been on, what went wrong, what even put you onto the path that you're on in the first place. The course of action that you took, the challenges that you faced, and then the success, the celebration that you achieved. Now, briefly, each of those, the context you're going to be talking about, this is where I was, this is where I started. The second C, the crisis, might not be a crisis, but in my experience, there usually is a life trigger that puts people onto their path. Many people I speak to in their upbringing, they've decided to study a particular field in a particular sector because of something that happened in their childhood that really made an impact on them. So your crisis, like I said, might not have been a personal crisis, but will have been a trigger somewhere in your life. Number 3, the third C, your course of action. Did you go on to study nuclear safety, water management, entrepreneurship so that you could support other women wanting to make their mark on the world? The challenges, not everything is always perfect. And then your celebration. This is what I can demonstrate to you now that I've succeeded. In my own experience, storytelling completely transformed the way that I marketed myself. And I'm no longer scared about telling people. I made a lot of mistakes. But in between times, I know I've done a lot of things right because I have worked and supported thousands of people in the not-for-profit sector to dig deep, to find out their purpose, and to be able to express themselves so that they make that emotional connection. So that they are prepared to say, this is who I am. This is what I believe in deeply. This is what gets me out of bed every single day. This is the journey I've been on. If you want to stand out, you're going to have to make a decision about which part of your story you are going to share with others. I'm not suggesting that you share your deepest, darkest secrets, but you cannot expect to stand out just by hiding behind a professional facade in the interests of not wanting to step on anybody's toes or push through any boundaries or say, this is right, this is wrong. If you'd like to work with me, if you'd like to find out more about how I can help you in that process, basically getting over yourself, I would love you to get in touch, and I have put a link in the comments for you to book a call, just for us to start a conversation on where you might want to go next. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to like, share or comment. And until we meet again, stay safe, stay healthy, stay fabulous, because you are. Loads of love and bye.